Welcome to week 23. Here we are, and it's a cold one. I got two thermometers in my tent. One's digital, one's analog. I trust the analog one more. The digital one is kind of like plus or minus 1 to 2 degrees, maybe 1.5. And right now the digital is saying 10. So, and it feels 10. Might even feel a little lower. I think the analog might say something like 9. Anyways, gotta layer up here. Not seeing the breath yet. And yeah, let's go hike the way back to the truck, get more supplies. On the drive in, I did a lane change. I don't often signal. I'm very aware while I'm driving. In this case, I wasn't aware that there was a police officer behind me. So I completely made a lane change with a police officer behind me and didn't signal. And then once I was in the lane, I did like a little half signal. And then he changed lanes to follow me. And I had a huge load in the back of my truck. For a second, he actually pulled up alongside me. Like it was clear. The guy sped up and then slowed down to match me. Obviously looked over, I didn't look over. And then he pulled in behind me, ran my plates, looked at my load. My load was nice and secure. I had a red bandana nailed, not tied, nailed onto the longest piece of wood. And then he changed lanes and got off the highway. So close call. I didn't really do anything wrong. I just did a lane change without signaling, but I'm sure he wanted to do something about all the lumber I was carrying, but I secured it pretty well, as I have had much practice over the last 6 months doing. And so that's that. So forest is good. There's always branches that fall. So, you know, trail maintenance on top of forging is one of the things on my list to do. From a beautiful, cooler fall day, but no rain, and the bug. Later. We got about 6 degrees. So this is the ritual, is come in and put everything away and put your dirty clothes away and fold them up neatly and put your clean jammies on, because that's what it is. The sun is down. I'm not going to put just like some nighttime clothes on just to change it a little later, right? So I thought I would just do a little film here of essentially just changing in 6-degree weather, 6-7 degree weather. And you can do it after you've been active. You know, I haven't stopped moving since being here, moving all my materials and chopping wood and cleaning the site and preparing everything. So when you're constantly moving, you're generating heat. So I'm pretty good. That's how I can change it 6 degrees out here, and then, you know, maybe have a quick little bite before starting a fire, and then, you know, start a fire. Whew. I'm listening to Gary Vee, which is about entrepreneurship and bringing out the best of yourself. Never before have we had the opportunity to be so successful. The secrets of those who were successful before us, you know, going back 30, 40, 50, 100 years, that whole time range. What those people did to become successful, those secrets are now, or practices or habits or insights, those are now accessible today and readily spoken about and encouraged. College isn't for everybody. You should know what your strengths are and lean into that. And he goes, look, some people are creative, some people are funny, and those two things you really can't go to school for. But some people are academics, so go to school, because that, you know, you're playing into your strength. That's not just for 20-somethings. That's for anybody at any age who has something inside of them who says, you know what, I feel I can be doing more with my life. I feel that there is something better out there for me. I feel that I'm underachieving and I'm not living up to my full potential. You don't have to be 21 or 18 to feel that way. I felt that way for a long time. I would say I felt that way since my mid-20s, that I could be something great if I harnessed my time, my energy, and my efforts towards something and not waste it. We have access to all this information on what it takes to level up in your life, to live your best life, and to sort of follow your dreams, your passion, and to bring together something that you love to do, that brings out the best of you, and you can also somehow get paid for that, or, you know, compensated in some way. I've been on this grind for 5 years, and, you know, I'm also just say it now, but like, I'm building this cabin because I want a great accomplishment in my life. Losing my job of 17 years. You know, a company I'd started with while I was in university, making money to put myself through school. And then I stayed with the company and up the corporate ladder. And they say the definition of a midlife crisis is climbing the corporate ladder and realizing you leaned it against the wrong wall. I'm not saying I'm in a midlife crisis. I've changed it to midlife reflection, because I'm not in crisis. I have direction and purpose and meaning and drive, and I'm living my best life. As I was approaching 40, I said to myself that I wanted to be in the best shape of my life. And, you know, I was always an active kid, a teenager, and even in my 20s, but, you know, things happen, you know, the vices out there in the world, we all know what they are. You do them, you indulge in them, you know, and they take you down. It's just natural that your peak declines. And so I wanted to sort of get back to my health and my physical fitness and well-being. I'm after financial freedom. But more importantly, I'm after freedom. I don't want to have to answer to somebody. I don't want to have to wake up at a certain time for the best years of my life in terms of health and age and experience and wisdom. So that's it. Kind of long, but hey, maybe there's something in there. Good day. It's another beautiful one, I guess, in the sense that it's sunny. It's cold, not super cold. I feel like grinding with music loud. I'm working right by the site as well too, so actually that speaker would come in handy. I'm trying to figure out what these trees are. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. they get real sort of like a spire at the top there. Working on the shed today. Nothing has started. So I'm going back to the truck to get my level, my tape measure, my pencil, my hammer, some nails, maybe the circular saw. So speed square. That's what I'll be doing, and not gonna waste too much time because can't be standing around like this not being active. You're just gonna get cold. And I'm still rocking my Crocs. We'll see how long I can do that for. As long as it's not raining, it's okay, because then your feet don't get wet. So I know as long as I'm moving around, I'm gonna be okay. If my feet do get cold, then I'll throw my winter boots on. But right now, everything's all good. So. Quick thought. I've been out here all summer, starting in the spring, summer, now it's the fall. I'm gonna be here in winter and then it's gonna be spring again. So I've been out here over 6 months. I've noticed I would stir around 8 a.m. hour, like between, somewhere in the 8 o'clock hour, like probably 8:15, 8:20 in the morning, I would stir awake. This past Saturday was daylight savings. We fell back an hour. And this morning I stirred around 7. Being out here in nature, somehow my body is attuned to nature and the cycles that are happening out here. Because I would stir around 8 And we went back an hour, and now I'm stirring around 7. Well, it happened one time. I'll see what happens tomorrow morning. But just a quick thought, you know, the time doesn't matter. What matters is the sun in the sky. For me, being out here in nature. Well, we'll see how it goes. From coincidences that maybe changes. Later. Yeah, it's -1 and it feels like it. Just after 6:30, it's cold. It's cold. Right now my toes are frozen. So I'm gonna have to get this fire going and warm them up. My fingers, my hands aren't so bad. You gotta keep moving, you gotta keep active. As I was washing my hands, and -1 apparently, outside that water is cold. And as I'm washing them and drying them off, I'm like, I gotta keep my fingers warm enough to build a fire and then roll the, to light a lighter. When your hands are cold, you may not be able to light a lighter. So I need to be able to light a lighter so I can get a fire going and then warm my hands and my feet up. So yeah, good productive day. Was able to level out 2 blocks. No, 3. 3 foundation blocks for my shed. 2 or 3. So I'll finish that last one off tomorrow and then, you know, maybe start building the frame. So that's coming along. I'm going to get changed and settle in for the night and eat and warm up and relax. So from a wood stove that's not yet going. Great morning or afternoon, whatever, start of the day. Working on the shed. I've got that block to level, and then I got to sort of square them all up because I watch a lot of YouTube as well. And what gets me is what is the person talking about? You know, if it's something I'm interested in, or even if I'm not interested in it, are they being interesting about what they're speaking about? Those two things, the content, how they present it, and how they are as a person. And the splashy editing stuff, yeah, that's nice. It's nice. You know, if I'm doing a repair on something, and I do repairs on tons of things, I'll go check out a YouTube video on how to do it. And if the guy just shows it, gives me like the direct view that I need with the camera, I'm not trying to fight to, what's he doing there? Maybe he does a couple angles. If not, if he can get the perfect one shot where you can see everything that needs to be done, perfect, right? Anyways, I'm gonna get to work, listen to these bangers. Later. I ran out of rocks, drainage stone. I was gonna buy a bag, but I thought, you know, I think I got enough. Could always run to the store, but it's the time. I don't mind going and driving, you just lose the time. Handful of rocks. I would go around the land and try and grab stones and stuff, but everything's all like leaf covered. There's a lot of places to take from. I mean, look at all this rock just sort of hanging out there, and even under there. So, and even the outhouse. So I'm not going to rob my foundation, but there's certainly a lot of rocks stones kicking around everywhere. So I'm gonna go do that and build up that last foundation block here. I just need to get this level, get this whole thing square, and then I can add bricks to the top of that, and away we go. So yeah, beautiful fall day. Hey! Very little gets past this lion. There you go. Taking stones from here, and I noticed this guy. Pretty cool. Progress is good. I've had to level these, this one here and that one there. I've had to level them out with some wood. Hey, you know, this is all part of the learning experience. So it's just a shed. It's not the shed for the cabin site. I'm gonna build this, have the winter go through, you know, learn from it, and, you know, when I head on down to the cabin site and build the cabin, I'll have the experience of this tent pad, the outhouse, and the shed. And for the shed, to sort of increase my skills, I'm going to, I wanted to use OSB for the floor, but I didn't do enough research, so I'm just using deck boards, which, you know, I'm not gonna have any problem with deck boards for a shed floor. I'm gonna put a window on this shed. It's big enough for one, so I'm gonna try my hand at a window. I'm gonna attempt building a better door, and I'm gonna probably use metal roof and do that again. I'm gonna do shed style, obviously. Not obviously. I wanted to do something different. I actually wanted to do, I guess that's a gable. I wanted to do that because I've seen sheds with gable roofs and they're awesome. What I'm learning is patience, I guess, is a little bit of it. You have to take your time doing these things. You can't really rush it if you want excellence and if you want a good product that you're happy with afterwards. I mean, what you put into something is what you get out. So if you work hard on it and put a lot of effort and time and thought, then it's going to be good. And I can see that. When you rush things, it's, you know, you rush things, you cut corners, and you know, you yourself will know it. So you just got to take your time and be methodical about it, and make a mistake and learn from it and try and do better. And when you want to cut a corner, don't, like, sweat through it. And the elements too. So it's not super hot. I don't mind the heat. The bugs just kick the shit out of me. I didn't like that. And now it's gonna get cold. So rain, cold, bugs, those things can slow you down. Again, from a beautiful fall day with the sun between the trees. Later. Got my music playing, my yogurt going, my tools are out. I'm building right beside the site, and it's not a shitty site. This is a nice site that I worked hard all summer to build. This is the best. Technically, I could continue to work at night since I've got my string lights around here. From beautiful scenery that I always look at and love. Later. After 5:30, sun's down. That looks like Jupiter that's up. Maybe Mars. I'm about to chop wood. I'm listening to a podcast. I've been blasting music all weekend because I downloaded some new beats. So I was so excited to hear that. Yeah, my deck is coming along. It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. You know, 6x8. Progress is good. I've actually nailed on 2 deck boards already. So I've got my skids in place. I've got my pads level. I've got my 2x6 rim joists all the way around. I've got my 5 2x4 joists in the middle there. It's all fastened together, and then the floor platform, I've fastened it to the skids. So and now I've put 2 deck boards on. So I've got 10 more to go. I'll just fly through that tomorrow. And yeah, I might walk my frontage a little bit and walk my land a little bit more, and we'll see. Yeah, anyways, I love settling in for the night when all the chores are done. Your food is good to go. Your dinner, your snacks for nighttime. You're still a little hungry after dinner, so you gotta have a little something that's not a snack, but it's not a meal. It's something in between. So that is going to be tater tots that I have, and garlic bread with bruschetta. Going to finish off this podcast and swing an axe. Later. Well, Christmas music, and it's almost that time of year. Having a tea, having a fire, sitting on in a tent, on a pad, 2-tiered roof that I built myself. While Christmas music plays, this is great. I love it. This happens all the time to me. I want goodness, and I either make it or it happens around me. Either that or I enjoy the life that I have and what happens to it. Great day. It's almost damn near like 20 degrees. It's hot. Last night was hot too. I'm setting new records here. Like, I can sleep in 7 degrees outside. That's not bad at all. I mean, yeah, you're gonna need blankets and throw the duvet on, but 7 is okay. Anyways, working on the shed here. 6 feet deep, 8 feet wide. I've got 10 more deck boards to put on. And then the floor will be set, and I'll bring the wood for walls next week. And I have to figure out, I'm thinking on this wall here, I'm gonna have 2 windows. And I'm thinking maybe the entrance is gonna be here on the side. So I'm not gonna have the entrance on this wall here because, you know, the fire pit and the chairs and stuff are here. And I can't have it on the back. Can't have an entrance here. Can't see it, but the land rises up. So that leaves the sides, either here or the other side. And there's much more room on this side to get big things in and out of the shed. Over here, there's not a whole lot of room. So things are pretty level. I guess it's going down this way. that way. So if I raise this up, yeah, it levels. So there's a slight slope going down that way. It's level back and forth there. Yeah, level back and forth. And then over here, yeah, slight slope down that way. So whatever, it's a shed. It's not my cabin. I'm okay with a little incline. You know, if I have a couple windows right here, then I can certainly have some sort of bench or table here and work away on projects. So putting in windows, that's a new skill. Designing the walls, that's a new skill. Time to rip the bangers, get these boards on, and then maybe work on the outhouse sink on a beautiful, beautiful day and weekend. Quick thought. If I build a roof and it's leaking and I'm getting wet and I've got buckets all over collecting water that's falling from my roof, and it's a little bit of misery and it's stressful, and every day, every time it rains, I always have to get the buckets out and new leaks happen. And I have a neighbor who builds a roof and it shelters him from the rain. There's no holes. He did it correctly. And his feet is up and he's chilling, he's dry. My roof that I built simply isn't good enough. And that's the truth. There's no consolation of, that's okay, your roof is okay, it's standing, sure it's got some leaks, but it's a good roof. No, it's not. It's not a good roof. It is not good enough. In this world, sometimes things are not good enough. But everyone's feathers get ruffled when that thing happens to be a person. And a person isn't good enough. No one wants to say that about someone else, and no one wants that said about them. But it's true. Sometimes people just aren't good enough. And if you want to argue against that, go ahead. Have your view. In my view, I understand that there are some people that are just not good enough. Simple. Just like a leaky roof. There's a person out there that whatever they do, whatever task that they're working at, it's just not good enough. If it comes to sweeping a floor. Now, when I sweep a floor, I get my broom out and I sweep everywhere. I bend down, I get under the table, under the fridge, whatever, right? The hard to reach places, the things that suck and you try to cut corners or whatever. If you sweep and you make a pile and you put the broom away and go watch TV, that's not good enough. There's a pile of dirt in the middle of the floor that you swept up and you just walked away and you're going to leave it there for days? That's not good enough. That person is not good enough.
Your head will collapse, but there's nothing in it, and you ask yourself, where is my
Wow. Look at this sunset. Is that something else or what?